is that it's going to be producing the winner of this group, and also potentially, giving us who is going to be progressing to the next round of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. Ghana currently 3 points behind South Africa, and so any sort of win here is going to take Ghana straight to the next stage of the qualifiers. I'm here with sports journalist Benedict Owusu. Benedict, we've seen the lineup. We've realized that Mubarak Wakasu has been injected into the setup. What exactly are you expecting from Coach Milovan Rajovic?
Well, I expect nothing but the team to win. That's right. The only thing that will take us to the next stage of the qualifiers is a win. Anything short of that will be able to the next stage of the qualifiers. So I expect nothing but a win. I mean, look at the starting team. This very attacking starting lineup. We saw Mubarak Wakasu last year against India. He came on to the day start. And today, I'm actually expecting to see someone
And so that game is currently under. We will be bringing you the latest as and when that particular football match develops here on News 360 if you stay with us. Now, the Northern Regional Minister Alhaji Sani Hassan has described the death of 9 pupils of a St. Luanga RC Junior High School in the Saboba district as a national tragedy. The minister, who led a government delegation to Saboba to commiserate with the bereaved families, assured them of support from government during this trying time.
The regional minister was accompanied by some officials of the Northern Regional Coordinating Council, top MPP activists in the region, and the Tamale Metropolitan Chief Executive Sule Salifo. Addressing the bereaved families, the minister appealed to them not to be distracted by the incident, though painful.
This is their time of return. They have returned to their maker, and we shouldn't grieve so much. Even though human as we may be, we are bound to it. But in these trying times, I want the families to know that they are not alone. We are with them.
Assure them of government support.
Ghana has lost. Those 9 people, 9 souls were part of this population census that we just had. Today there are no more. It's a loss to Ghana. We have lost able people who could have been ministers and even presidents.
The regional minister could not end his speech without shedding tears. The minister made a donation of some 10,000 Ghana cedis to the bereaved families on behalf of government.
10,000 cedis to be given to the various families so that at least they could buy the coffins for the burial. And I just hope that you will give us further brief on how the various funerals will be performed. Jason
Ngabe, who spoke on behalf of the bereaved families, expressed gratitude to the minister and the delegation for their visit.
It is just an accident. If you had known that you send this student there and this thing will happen, I don't think this gentleman would have done that. So please, you are representing the president. Let's look for another chance. Maybe if there will be discipline. But to what extent? So all that the parents are saying is that we thank you, Regional Minister, with your entourage who came with you.
Meanwhile, the suspect, 43-year-old headmaster of the St. Charles Luanda Junior Secondary School, has been moved to Tamale. He is expected to appear in court on Monday, November 15. 9 pupils of the St. Charles Luanga Junior High School died in the boat disaster in the Saboba district of the Northern Region on Friday. The pupils are said to have been returning from a farm when the boat capsized on the river.
Meanwhile, some BEC candidates have been speaking with our Northern Regional correspondent, Christopher Marco.
On Friday, November 12, before the untimely death of all 9 pupils of the St. Charles Luanda Junior High School in the Saboba district, the 9 persons all came to school according to their friends. Now, when they got to school, they had some interactions with most of their friends before they were asked to accompany their head teacher to his farm to harvest, right? So this was actually the last place that they had their interaction with their friends before leaving to the farm, where they met their untimely death on their way back from the farm. Interacting with some of their colleagues, they have been sharing some moments they had with them before their last breath.
My brother like this is packed, so I've been thinking about him every time. I've been thinking about him, so I cannot even learn. That is all it.
Tomorrow that we'll be starting our exam, I'm totally confused. So at least I don't just know what to do. We are confused, and that happened. It has already happened, and we don't need to put that one on ourselves so that we'll be more confused. At least we should forget of it, and we'll learn. After the exams, we won't know what to do.
I've lost my brother on Friday. The headmaster sent them to farm to go and harvest rice. So when they were coming on their way home, we heard that they have remained in the water. So they went and removed them and brought them to the house and buried them. Now I'm now worried. That's my brother. Now how to farm is now a problem to me. I don't know what I'll do again.
Meanwhile, the district chief executive for the Saboba area, George Bingrini, has told TV3 the assembly, together with the district directorate of education, are providing counseling services for the BEC candidates in the district following the disaster.
The district assembly, in collaboration with GS Directorate, have organized a psychologist to come and talk to the final year students who are beginning their exams tomorrow. Some of them, especially those that are coming from the same school with those who lost their lives, are traumatized, and we need to bring their minds back home for them to be able to write their exam. The school is a Catholic school. The Catholic Church is also organizing a service for the departed souls.
Now, in a related development, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, says it is saddened over the death of the 9 pupils who drowned in the Oti River. A statement signed by General Secretary Thomas Musa urged all to remain calm and cooperate with law enforcement agencies to handle the matter.
Let's stay with NAT a while longer, because the National Council of the Association of Teachers has urged the National Labour Commission to prevail on government to address issues of conditions of service of teachers. National President of NAT, Philip Alassin, was speaking at the end of a council's meeting in Adjiso in the Ashanti region.
The National Council calls on the National Labour Commission to prevail on the employer and all who matter to address the issues bordering on the collective agreement and conditions of service of teachers and well-being, as highlighted by the unions in their press statement of 10th August 2021, as placed before the Commission by National Security, addressed expeditiously to avert any ripples on the education front. The National Council calls on the GES to take immediate steps to resolve the outstanding issues concerning the promotion of teachers on the junior ranks, and I mean from Senior Superintendent 2 to Senior Superintendent 1. The National Council registers its abhorrence with the unruly behavior being demonstrated by students in some schools towards school authorities, teachers and themselves, sometimes resulting in needless injury and death in recent times. The National Council finds this attitude not only uncouth, but barbaric, and therefore calls on students to demonstrate some modicum of respect, moral certitude, tolerance, and decorum towards school authorities, their teachers, and themselves. They should learn to coexist peacefully.
Now let's turn our attention to some other issues this evening. And the Minority Chief Whip, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, says the police administration has finally written to Parliament to meet with the Speaker and leadership in resolving the Medina MP saga. The lawmaker agreed MPs are not above the law, but insisted the police should have followed due process to get the MP to assist them in investigations.
The minority chief whip was in the thick of affairs when the police attempted to arrest the Medina MP Francis Xavier Sosu.
When Speaker Michael Quay was here, countless. He referred to me the whip. I need you to produce this your member on this day and this day. The police have written this letter and I've asked them to come at this time. And I'll get the member to go quietly without any hula baloo about it. This one, I want to believe that they wanted to flex in the social media and they were just playing to the gallery. Honorable Mama was interrogated and then charged, and he was attending court. It's not that we are above the law, but the processes must be followed.
He indicated that the Speaker will not shield any MP if the police followed the right procedure.
They tried to arrest Sosu, and it failed, before they now write to Speaker. So that's where his beef is coming from. I'm happy to say that the police administration have written. They want to meet the leadership together with the Speaker, and I think they've copied the Interior Minister. That is the right thing to do. Let's try and iron it, because look, whereas we agree, the new IGP may want to do very good things, but I've said it on so many platforms. Let's be careful that it doesn't go into his head for him to begin to act lawless.
The Asawasi MP described the majority side's posture on the issue as the highest level of hypocrisy, which contributes to making Parliament weaker.
This is what we do, and the Parliament gets weaker because we are doing it, we and them. So long as we don't see it as something that affects all of us. So let us all agree and have an agreed procedure that will be followed today, tomorrow, and tomorrow next. So regardless of whoever is in power, this is what we've all agreed. If you think that the goalposts should be changed, because today you think that you are in the majority, tomorrow you'll be in the minority. And then you will be now crying.
The chief whip responded to the road minister's pronouncement that demonstrations do not build roads.
It's not very comfortable with democracy. If you discount demonstration, you are indirectly discounting democracy. Check everywhere around the world. It's demonstration, peaceful, legitimate. That draws government attention to that there's this thing that is really worrying us, and therefore take steps to resolve them. If you don't allow peaceful demonstration and legitimate demonstration to happen, what happens is that your democracy collapses.
Let's take a step away from Parliament, and the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Akoto, has strongly refuted claims that food prices have shot up in recent times. According to him, the country is witnessing the highest level of food production, even though there have been some delays in rainfall this year.
According to Isiku Ghana, a 91-kilogram bag of cassava, which was selling for 206 cedis as of 21st January in Takoradi, shot up to 247 cedis, 50 pesos by July 21st, 2020. In Tamale, it increased from 185 cedis to 226 cedis within the same period. The General Agricultural Workers Union has warned Ghanaians to brace themselves for an increase in food prices in some few weeks. The General Secretary, in response to a survey by our sister station 3FM Sunrise Morning Show on food prices, said Ghana is in a harvest season, but food prices are high on the market. He projected the prices to increase in the month of January and February 2022. But the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Akoto, thinks otherwise.
That is a wrong perception. The statistics that we compile in this ministry do not support that. I mean, the size of Kenke that you're talking about, we've had this our 5th year of planting for food and jobs. Nobody complained about the size, reducing size of Kenke until this year. Why? Because there was a drought last year in the southern part of this country, a very heavy drought, both in the major and minor season in the forest and the southern part. People forget these things very easily, and that affected supplies. This year, fortunately, apart from the 1 month delay in the major season rains in the south, the rains have been excellent.
According to him, the Agric Ministry has completed the Ton Irrigation Dam, among other dams, to boost irrigation.
The naysayers were saying a few months ago, including the former president, that there's going to be famine. In fact, we are on the cusp of a major boom in food production, to the extent that if you monitor the tamale market, for instance, grain market, prices are tumbling, and we are at the beginning of the harvest. The harvest will be at its peak and completed by the end of December. But in the absence.
I don't know which part of the country the Agric Minister lives, but let's move on. For citizens well advanced in age, the once vibrant town of Keta is now a pale shadow of itself, vastly destroyed by the ravages of the sea. My colleague Roland Walker caught up with 79-year-old Andrews Koko, who is worried about the distraction to his beloved town, but also recounts when the current state of tidal waves destruction began.
I was born in 1942. Presently, I'm getting to 80 years now. So that 1942 up to 1947, I started my schooling. And that time, if you are at Blakusu, you see the lighthouse, Cape St. Paul, inside the sea. But that time, the sea was far from the town, about 5 miles. Before you go to the beach, you pass through the coconut trees. As far back in the 1950s, Nkrumah government, they started off preventing the sea for taking the Kita, for presence, and a police station, Zion schools, Yippie, Bremen schools. When the sea started of coming, no idea has come of making the prevention. The prevention they did that time was using the timbers of blocking.
According to opinion leader Andrews Koko, Keta and adjoining communities now look a pale shadow of themselves. And this is worrying not only for the current generation, but for the generation unborn.
When Liman government get out, then Jerry came. It was the time where Jerry were all trying to get people who should look at the proper way of solving the sea erosion. We are worried. Look, Keta, we have the police station, the central police station. We have the prison for prison inside where the prison yard is. Does it clear all those areas? You see, that was a 50 to 60 period time. So the sea is not going back. It's coming. This is why we are thinking that what are the governments are doing at all? Are they learning something at all?
Let's stay with Keta a while longer because the Municipal Assembly has banned any form of sand winning along the coastlines within the municipality. Chief Executive Officer Emmanuel Gemega said the current tidal waves that hit some communities in the assembly is due to regular sand winning activities that take place along the shore.
The tidal waves distraction in Keta, Anglogan and Ketu South area is causing significant tension in Parliament after the majority and minority sides of the House both put forward conflicting arguments about the cause of the disaster. Deputy Majority Leader Alex Afenyo-Markin, holding a picture while source has now been disputed, claimed sand winning activities in the enclave is responsible for the disaster, but NDC MPs are adamant that is not the case. Speaking to TV3, Municipal Chief Executive of Keta, Emmanuel Gemega, could not confirm or deny the allegation of the majority MPs in Parliament.
We have banned sand winning as missing. One of the causes of the tidal wave, invasion is the sand winning. In fact, you ought to have been around to see how people win sand, fetch sand, using heavy trucks of sand. All over. So, because of that activity, they are rather created trenches to the level below the sea.
He, however, said sand winning activity in coastal areas has now been banned. But MP for Keta, Kwame Jijoli, says he will resign as MP if the majority MPs are able to prove the picture circulating around is from Keta.
I, Kwame Gakwe, MP for Keta, I'm throwing a challenge to them that the picture that they showed in Parliament last Friday, if really that is Keta, that picture is coming from Keta, I'm prepared to resign as a member of Parliament for Keta, and I challenge them to prove it.
And now the Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Ajibald Lecha, and NPP Volta Regional executives have justified the inability of President Akufo-Addo to visit areas in the region recently affected by tidal waves. According to them, the president does not need to be physically present in the area to show his concern.
Hundreds of residents in Keta, Anglo, and Ketu South constituencies in the Volta region were affected by Sunday, November 7, 2001 tidal waves. 2,000 school children also had their items destroyed. The affected communities include Anyangwi, Atoko, Agbeledoming, Fubeme, Jita, and Achikeli. Former President John Mahama, who also visited the affected communities Saturday, questioned why President Akufo-Addo has not visited the people, but responding to the former president, Volta Regional Minister Dr. Ajibald Lecha and Volta Regional NPP Secretary Joseph Homenya noted the president's inability to visit does not mean he is not concerned.
The president has representatives here, the municipal chief executives and the state institutions represent the president.
The president's representatives are on the ground 24/7, assessing the situation and responding adequately. Constitution allows for delegation of powers, of which the regional minister is exercising dutifully.
Various groups continue to donate relief items to victims of the tidal waves.
From the Volta region, let's head now to the Ashanti region, where pediatrician in charge of a mother and baby unit at the Ashanti Regional Hospital is advocating the resourcing of a unit to enhance the quality care given to preterm babies. Dr. Rita Fusuyabwa says although the unit has some machines, they are not adequate due to the high referrals of preterm babies to the unit. Here is a report by Beatrice Biogabra.
The Ashanti Regional Hospital was first established as a health center in 1976. It was upgraded to a regional hospital status in 2002. The mother and baby unit was constructed and donated to the hospital by the Israeli government in 2008. By half year of 2021, the MBU had admissions of 575, out of which 137 were preterm babies. November every year is observed as the Purple Month to create awareness about preterm babies and the need to support them to survive. According to Dr. Rita Fusuyabwa, some of the causes for preterm delivery include high blood pressure, diabetes, and maternal infections. She noted that preterm babies can survive if immediate and needed medical attention is given to them. A major challenge facing the MBU is space.
Congestion here, then we may need a little bit of expansion as well. Yeah, so I think basically that is it. We will need a little bit of expansion because you cannot prevent the inflow. You cannot prevent patients from coming in. So what you need to do is to expand it.
On the relevant machines to care for preterm babies, Dr. Rita Yebua mentioned the unit needs more to stop putting 2 or more babies under one machine.
My mind would be more of what we call a CPAP machine. It's something that aids breathing in newborns, especially for our preterms, because depending on how early you are born, sometimes you have what we call surfactant insufficiency, and therefore they have difficulty in breathing. You need to aid them to breathe well. You need a phototherapy machine. I mean, the one that now we are all geared towards is what we call a Firefly, because it's able to provide what we call double phototherapy for the babies who come in very jaundiced.
Medical director of the hospital, Dr. Kwame Bwedu, said the hospital has within its resources provided some of the machines. They were, however, in talks with stakeholders to procure more. On the limited space at the MBU, he disclosed the MP for Asqua is undertaking expansion works of the unit, which is expected to be completed in 6 months' time.
Case has always been a challenge, especially at the mother-baby unit.